Another memorable part of Barrie is the 5 Points. And I understand that 5 Points has another nickname that was named after you. Could you tell us that story?
Well, the 5 Points was one of the worst features of Barrie when I came here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this was before Highway 400.
Right.
So all the Muskoka-bound vacation traffic, all the north traffic, all traffic had to go through
the city.
the 5 Points.
Yeah.
And what a nightmare. The cars would be lined up miles and miles back on holiday weekends. And even at rush hours, the same thing. It was just terrible.
Right.
And so, as I mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
my wife and I would go to Florida, and we settled on Sarasota, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat a similar growth pattern that Barrie has had. And there they had a 5 Points too, where they had similar problems.
Okay.
This was before I-75 was
Mm-hmm.
built. And they came up with this stop and go system with all lights turning red.
Hmm.
So all the people could walk at once,
Right.
without having to look this way
Sure.
and that way and the fifth way. 5 ways you had to
Right.
look.
Right.
And so people would walk so slowly because if it was for them to go in one way, it wouldn't be in the other way.
Right.
So here, council didn't know what they were voting on. I proposed it, made the motion.
Mm-hmm.
This was before I was mayor.
Okay.
I was I was chairman of the traffic committee. That's
Right.
what I was.
Sure.
And it passed, and we put it in. And oh boy, what a problems we had. First of all, we didn't have equipment like they have today. So to time the thing, they had me walk from one angle to the other.
Okay.
Well, I could walk pretty fast in those days. So the timing was wrong. We had to change that. We had to slow it up. There were people like I am now with canes and what have you
Right.
that walk slower. And then we had to train the people before, when it did turn to walk, everybody would look this way, that way, before they started. We had to train the people, and I had to write stories and make speeches. When the light says walk, go! And there were numerous stories in the paper about Kinsey's 5 Points mean run, don't walk, and so on and so forth.
And it got the name Kinsey's Run.
Yes, that's right. And so anyway, eventually they got it pretty good. And eventually the people got trained. When it said walk, you walked. And there's been a few attempts to change it since then, but it hasn't been changed one iota after we got the timing right.
That's a great story.